Hello, everyone, and welcome to BiGG Fusion Tips. We are live streaming. So today I thought we'd just kind of shoot the breeze and do some fun designing, some CAD things. If anybody has any questions or like some input on some things going on, then definitely write in the comments so you can interact live. This is kind of new, so still trying to iron out any kind of problems that might arise. So I do apologize if you do comment and I don't see it. I definitely need to still figure out some things in order to do. But anyway, today I thought we'd go ahead and go over some CAD principles that are kind of more real world type scenarios. I remember when I was in CAD school, we did a lot of orthographic drawings. So it's basically your 2D sketches on a plan, and we basically had to recreate it and make it three-dimensional. So that's what we're going to do. I'm using the GrabCAD community. It has a lot of resources. It has a whole library of different plans you can do to recreate it. And just have some fun and just practice your CAD drafting skills. This one I'm going to be working on two. I've put a link down in the description below to this GrabCAD community website, and also I've dropped the two I'm going to be trying to recreate down in the comments or down in the description below. So if anybody's interested to follow along on your end, then by all means follow along. So I'm going to head and get into this, and I'm going to click and get this going. Optimize our windows to do this so I can see what I need to, but still have a decent sized screen for the designing aspect. All right, so we are starting. Oh, that's okay. I believe I have it set up to where I can see comments now. If anybody starts watching, then I should be able to see any comments or live chats. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Like I said, this is kind of what we used to do in when I went to CAD certification class, school, community college. These are kind of the things that we did. So what we have here on the right side is known as an orthographic sketch. Nobody's familiar with that. So typically what we do, this sketch right here represents the top view. So if you're looking top down over here, this is an isometric drawing. It's got it in an angle. So what you're seeing here is if you're looking down this direction, if you see my mouse moving up and down. This one down below, so this is your top, your front view. So this would be looking this direction. And then we have a right angle that's going to be looking at it from this angle. And you might notice that on this one there's a bunch of like hashed lines going across. This is known as a section view. So it's basically they cut this part in two so you can see some details from from the interior portion, because it's not a good practice if you need to dimension a hole and you're going off of a hidden line. We'll get into that because right now I don't see anywhere where there is a hidden line on here. I see a center line, but we'll go over that in another one. So yeah, we're basically just going to be taking dimensions off of this one and recreating it over here. So we're going to go ahead and start this. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if we've ever gone over this in previous videos. I don't think I ever have, but it's always a good practice to start with a new component. This is I'll just put part. I'll name it. So if we've never gone over it before, this basically just, if you have a lot of different parts and pieces that you're going to be connecting all in one sketch and you're not referencing it from other individual files, this is a good way to keep everything organized. Everything, if I create another assembly or another component, it'll put it right below here and it'll be its own thing. It'll have its own history, so if you're designing several things, it's not going to be all on one long history. It's going to be isolated to that part, and it's a lot easier to work with. Like I said, it's just a good practice to start out with. So what I'm going to do is I will probably start out with this base here. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start from our top view, and I'm just going to, I'll go ahead and do it the manual way instead of the quick click tabs. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our dimensions off of here. So as you can see, here is our depth of the object, of the base, and here's our width on this one. So we're going to go from our origin, and I'm going to put 35 depth, tab, 72 millimeters. And these are in millimeters. It did say that. Well, it said it somewhere. Anyway, it is in millimeters. So now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead and extrude this profile by 6 millimeters. I don't know, this could be, okay, extrude it by 6 millimeters. And then what I'll do is I will create another drawing on here. I guess what I could have done, honestly, let's go back. I'm gonna make another square or a rectangle in this one, and let's see, 5. Okay, we're gonna look over here. So it's 5 millimeters inset from here. So whatever we have here, it's 35. So this is gonna be 30 millimeters right there. Okay, so what we can do here is we'll extrude the whole length of the 10 millimeters. 10. We'll hit OK. Now, as you can see, our sketch disappeared. That's not to worry. We'll go over to our drop down over here, and we'll go to our sketches, and we'll hit this little icon, the little eyeball, and it will highlight our sketch again. So now we're going to highlight that one section that we had. We're going to go 6 millimeters. Okay, now we have our little inset area, and it starts to look like this part right here. Okay, we don't need our sketch visible anymore, as we're going to move on. Okay, now we got our base. Alright, now I'm doing all this live, so I could run into some roadblocks or kind of think things through here for a little bit. So do be patient with me. So we've got our base, so that's a good start. What I can do now is let's go ahead and start working on this protrusion here. And I want to know how wide this is. Okay, so as you can see, here's our 30 millimeters. That's our width here. So we'll go ahead and start on that. I'm going to place a plane along here just to kind of make things a little bit easier. And I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to create a sketch. So I'm just highlighting, right-clicking. Okay, let's see. Right-click. There we go. Right-click, create sketch. Now, we will try to find our center of this, which it should highlight. Might put a middle. Let's see. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go across. We're going to make it perfectly perpendicular. I'm going to make this a construction line by highlighting it and hitting the X key. Okay, so now I know my midpoint is here. I'm going to reference down, and I'm just going to carry it up. The height of this one, we'll at least go to the height of over on here. Our height from the very bottom of the base to the middle hole, which is where it starts to round, I'll just take it up to about there. And looks like 60 millimeters. I will go ahead and create another little reference line here just to make it easier. I'm gonna hit 60 millimeters, and that should be our height for the middle of our circle. So now I can reference, see where this triangle is. That's our middle portion. I'm just gonna go ahead and create another construction line just so I have neat and tidy things. We can always get rid of these later. So here is our reference point, and we will go ahead and do a diameter of 12 millimeters. So we've got our diameter of our hole, which was right here. We will then take our radius. Okay. So I will go ahead and create a sketch up here just to dimension and make sure this is right. Okay, 30 millimeters. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make another solid line. I'm going to connect it here. And I need to, from the center, the width, I'm going to offset it by 15 millimeters. Sorry, that's our construction line. Don't need that anymore. I'm going to offset with the O key by 15 both directions. We're gonna, so I'm gonna do -1.5. Okay, so that will get our circle there. Our radius of 15, so our diameter would be 30. I'm just gonna grab a 2-point circle and I'm gonna connect it from here to there, and that will give us our circular portion here. We can then take our trim tool, and by hitting the T command, or the T key, and we're just gonna trim off this excess. We shouldn't need our little helper here anymore, or this, or this. We should be good. I will make this a closed boundary, and of course my least favorite, always has been, is constraining all of these lines. Even to this day, I'm not the greatest at it, but I will try to constrain just by dimensioning as best I can, trying to lock all of these dimensions together. Whoops. Okay, so that's telling me that I need a dimension line here, and that locks that. And then I'll go ahead and make a dimension from here to here, and that creates a driven dimension. I'll just place this here. I'm trying to lock it, promise. Like I said, doing these, not my favorite, never has been, and probably still won't ever be. Anyway, I don't always advise this of locking it, but at least we have our lock. Okay, now we are going to find how much of a curvature we need here. Okay, let's see. Look at some of our dimensions. Doesn't really give much information as far as that's concerned for how high up this is. I do promise I know what I'm doing. I know I look like a quack right now, but it's just the pressure of being live, I guess. I don't know. I got to get used to that one. Don't usually have much issue with stuff like this, especially as simple a part as this one is here. We do a 3-point circle. Let's see here. I might project this line here just so I have something to attach to. Let's try a circle with a 2-point tangent circle, and that's going to give us our little curve. So now I need to look at our radius of 15. So I'm working with a whole circle, so that would be the diameter. Actually, no, that is from a middle. So I'm going to put 15, and that should give us our curved portion here. And I will extend this one here. Okay, and we're going to use another construction line. I'm going to put it right in the middle. Hit X. Okay. Now I'm going to mirror this feature over with our mirror line we just put in the center. Boom. Trim it, and I'm going to extend this line over. So now we have our curved portion here. That's already been dimensioned. I might dimension from here to the other side. Anyway, we're going to move on just for simplicity. All right, now need to find the thickness of our drawing here. So it's like 13 millimeters from the side. I will, since this does jot out a little bit, I might go back and go back to our sketch, and I'm going to edit the sketch, and I am actually going to put this back here, and we are going to extrude this circular portion to match this 5 millimeter, because it's even with this line here. So I'm going to stretch it out to 5 millimeters. Oh, lost our sketch. Okay, highlight it again, and then we'll take our profile. So this is 13 millimeters. So we did it 5, so that would be what? It'd be 7. And math is never my my greatest strength. That would be 8, excuse me. Yes, 8. We're going to extrude this by 8. All right, perfect. Now we have our good look here. All right, sweet. Looking good, looking good. Looking like our part on here. All right, so now there is a way to do a rib. I've just honestly never really used them a whole lot. With all the designs I've done in the past, I've never actually really used them, if I'm being quite honest. I really just haven't. Need to find how tall this is first off. It doesn't really give me many details as far as this is concerned. It gives me the width. I need to find how tall this is. It's at a 60-degree angle. Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to create a plane midpoint of this part. So if you go to your construction tab, there is a midplane. That's one we're going to select. I'm going to highlight this edge I'm going to go over here, highlight this edge, and now it's created a midplane. So I know that that's smack dab in the center, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to highlight it. We're going to create a sketch. And I'm going to just hit the L key for a line. And we're just going to type in, tab over to our degrees, and we're going to do a 60-degree angle. And this honestly should just give us how far up it needs to go. If I extend this, I'm not extending to anything. So what I'll have to do is go along this profile, this line. I'll just make that I will make that a construction line. So now once I go over to our extend, it'll extend to that line I just made. And now that I've got it, I'll just delete it. So I don't need it now. And I will make this a closed boundary from here to here. Like I said, the rib command probably works way better, but like I said, I've just never really used it or had any need to. So we're just going to do it this way, so it works just as well. We're going to extrude this this profile. And a little tip, we can do symmetrical, and once we extrude one way, it'll extrude the other way. Now you can break this into half length, so basically if you extrude it 5 millimeters on one side, it'll extrude to 5 millimeters on the other side. Or if you want to do the whole length as a whole, you can do that as well, the whole length. So what I'll do is it's 10 millimeters wide, so I'm just going to do it as it's already highlighted. I'll do 5 millimeters this side, so it'll be 5 millimeters that side. So it'll actually be 10 millimeters in length. Now it's starting to look like our part over here. And we've got a rounded corner on this portion that I'm trying to find what the radius of this is here. Not exactly sure. Okay, so here's our next portion. I'm not sure. Those must be through holes all the way through. As you see on this sketch here, it looks like they're holes that go all the way down. However, it looks like on this sketch they did not include hidden lines to show us that it goes all the way through. I'm just going to assume that it is because it looks like it is on the isometric drawing over here. So we can go ahead and go to our modifier, our 3D, create tab, drop down. We'll go ahead and reference, where's the hole? Here it is, hole H. I'm going to put it on this profile here. And there is a way where you can reference corners. So I'm going to reference from this one here. It's 23 millimeters. So I'm going to specify 23. And it really isn't giving me an option from another corner. It's just giving me from the center. So we're just going to have to go with it because for minimal instructions, I guess you could say. Now the nice thing about this is once I have a through hole on this side, it goes all the way through, I can actually go to our modify. Nope, I guess it's not modify. It is, excuse me, I'm trying to remember where all this stuff is. Pattern, mirror. Okay, here we go. Mirror, I can actually go over here, and instead of where it says object type bodies, you're actually going to highlight features. So we're going to highlight our feature inside here. We're going to drop down our plane that we had right here, and I'm going to highlight this mirror plane across here, and it will create a hole with minimal effort. Now I'm really not sure how much this corner is rounded. I might just have to take a guess and match it to here. Let's see. We'll go to our Modify tab. Fillet. You can also, I believe, use the F key. We will select both corners. And we will just round this to about right there. And we have our part. That looks pretty much similar to our sketch over here. So there you go. That is our taking a 2D sketch, isometric or orthographic sketch, and turning it to a 3D part. So yeah, that's that one. Sorry there were a few hiccups there. Like I said, when I'm live, you just don't think straight. You're under pressure, I guess. So we will then move on to another sketch. This one is the other one I was looking at. This one is courtesy of Juan David Cruz. Thank you. And we're going to recreate what he designed here. Thank you for doing that, my friend. All right, so here's our isometric view right here. Once again, here's our front. So if that's looking from this direction, top would be looking down, and then left would be from this angle. All right, so now we're going to try and recreate what he made. So we'll start out with the rounded portion. Go ahead and go here. We'll start out with a 3D portion. We will now open the diameter of this this circular cylinder portion, and let's see, radius of the outer one is 28. Oh boy, got the math again. Let's see here. Like I said, math was not my best thing. When it comes to carrying things in my head, forget it. Okay, so that'd be a 56 millimeter diameter, which we have here. As you can see here, it is 56 millimeters high. So we'll just extrude it 56 millimeters. And we can then either create a sketch. Yeah, let's go ahead and create a sketch on this one. And I have already forgotten to make a component part. Like I said, it's a good habit to start, even if you don't really need it. It's a good good practice. So we're going to try this again. So 56 by 56 high. All right. Now we'll go ahead and click on our top portion. We'll create a sketch. Looks like the radius is 16. That'd be 32. Bad at math. That's why I didn't go into engineering. Too much math. Too much math for me. All right. So now we have created a line going from the center up here. We're going to create this little notch in here. It looks like it is 6 millimeters of a gap. So I'm going to offset. I'm going to offset by 3, and then offset -3. I'll trim off all this here, and I will take an arc, 3-point arc, and I'm going to need to project this circle portion just to make it easier. Go to our arc, 3-point arc. We are going to zoom in a little bit, and then we'll tie it in to right there. Okay, now we have a closed boundary. Get rid of those with the trim tool. Okay. Now we'll create that. All right, we can get rid of this projected view now. And let's see here. Okay. Anyway, we're going to move on. I know it's not constrained all the way, but that's all right in this case. So I'm going to take this profile. I'm going to hit the E key or extrude. I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm just going to click, and it's going to extrude all the way. And it's going to cut that profile out of this material. Now we have, oh my goodness. Now we have our circular profile. And that's all done. Now we will follow the next step, which will be this longer rectangular portion. And that shouldn't be too bad of a deal. All right, so it's taking us from the center of this inner circle here, and it's giving us dimensions. So I'll go ahead and just create a sketch here on the bottom plane. I'll go ahead and just put a line, or here actually, I will create a line this way. Need to know how far, 48, so that'd be 24 millimeters, half of it. So now I'll take a dimension tool, and I will click, and I will move it from here to there, 90 millimeters. And I'll move it down to where I need it. I'll then just continue this profile on up here till it makes contact with our circle. Honestly, I could have made this line all in one shot before. Didn't think it through, but you definitely could have. I could have made the circle with the sketch instead of just doing the 3D shapes right off the bat. I will project the circle just to make it to where I'm actually connecting it to an actual physical line. Should be able to, yep, match it up right there. All right, I made a construction line here, and I will mirror this over to here. And the reason I didn't mirror this bottom line over is because it would make it two separate lines. So what I'll do instead is I'll just go to our extend tool, and we'll extend it over to our other line over here. All right, and now I will go to our circle, or no, arc, that arc, 3-point. Okay, we have our boundary. All right, so now we will see, okay, 24 millimeters, 16 radius. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to extrude this profile up 24 millimeters. So we'll finish the sketch. Oh, I'll try my best to constrain this. There we go, one shot. There we go. We're going to extend this 24 millimeters like it says. But not that much. 24. All right. Perfect. Now we have this segment here. So now what we'll need to do is create our little cutout here that's a cylinder type shape. And we will go ahead and click on this portion of the part here, right click. We're going to create a sketch. And we will go ahead and make a radius. So we'll just make a center circle. We'll put it here. It automatically detects that that is the center portion with that triangle right there. The X means you're on the line and you're pulling it across. The segmented lines will tell you that you're even. The triangle will notify you that that is indeed the center of the line. So now our radius is 16, which that would be mathematically, oh man, I need a calculator. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it'd be 32. Yeah, I knew that. Should have. No, I just didn't think about it right now. Under the pressure. Okay. So now we made this. We can go ahead and get rid of that line. We will, looks like we do have a line here. It does have a closed boundary and it is constrained. So we're just going to go with it. We're going to highlight this, hit the E key for extrude. And it looks like our extrusion is 40 millimeters deep. So we'll just put 40 millimeters. Oh, wrong way. I will need to put negative 40 millimeters and that will cut. As long as you have this set to cut, it has many options: join, cut, intersect, new body. But for this, we're definitely going to need the cut. We're going to hit OK. Boom. We now have our little practice sketch done, and it matches. Now, like I said, I didn't go over these before everything was live. I know there were several things I could have done differently. It would have made this a whole lot easier, but that's the thing about CAD. You can go about it so many different ways. It's always about finding the most efficient way of doing it. That probably wasn't the most efficient, but I was doing it completely, seeing it the first time and going for it. But as you see, we were able to recreate this part, isometric view. All the dimensions should match up. And yeah, there we go. And our previous part over here, we were able to get done as well. Minus, I wasn't sure what the radius was on these fillets. So we just went ahead and guessed. But other than that, well, that's all for this one. If you guys stayed with me the whole way, congratulations. That was a lot to go through. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I do want to continue doing some of these style format of live stream, CAD design. I would like to have some input on some things you guys would want to see. Any ideas, any sketches, any questions you guys might have, how a tool works. Like I said, I'm not the end-all be-all of CAD instructors, but I do know my way around the software. I've been working on it with personal projects and all those types of things. So if there is something that you guys want to see, then don't hesitate to comment down below in the video, and we'll see if we can make some things happen. I'd like to have this channel kind of evolve a little bit, hopefully get smoother and better on different things. And so yeah, I really appreciate you guys, if anybody's watching. And until next time, I hope you guys stay creative. See you guys.